passes by, and nothing will remain. And miles around they'll say that I am quite myself again. Quite myself again.
Oh, the anchor is weighed and the sails they are set.
Away, Rio! The maze that we're leaving we'll never forget,
For we're bound for Rio Grande and away
and away, Rio.
Aye, aye, and away.
Aye, Rio!
Away,
So fare ye well, my bonny young girl, we are bound for Rio Grande.
Away and away,
Rio.
aye, aye, and away.
Aye, Rio! So fare ye well, my bonny young girl, we are bound for Rio Grande.
We've a jolly good ship and a jolly good crew.
Away, Rio! A jolly good mate and a good skipper too.
For we're bound for Rio Grande and away and away and away.
Rio.
Aye, aye, and away.
Aye,
and
Rio!
away.
So fare ye well, my bonny young girl, we are bound for Rio Grande.
Away and away.
Rio.
Aye, aye, and away.
Aye, Rio! So fare ye well, my bonny young girl, we are bound for Rio Grande.
And away
And away, Rio.
Aye, aye, and away.
Aye, Rio!
away.
So fare ye well, my bonny young girl, we are bound for Rio Grande. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see you and hear your rolling river. Oh, Shenandoah, I long to see you. We're bound away across the wide Missouri. I long to see your smiling valley and hear your rolling river. I long to see your smiling valley. We're bound away across the wide and be jolly. Here's a toast to dear old Penn. Cheer, Pennsylvania, cheer evermore. We're here to see the red and blue score and score. And we give a resounding hoorah, hoorah, ever loyal to old Pennsylvania. Hail, alma mater, thy sons cheer thee now. To thee, Pennsylvania, all rivals must bow. Victorious forever, thy colors dear will be. Forever, forever, they'll wave in victory. Alma mater, great and grand, renowned from sea to sea, where'er thy loyal sons shall stand, they'll e'er be true to thee. The sight of thy majestic halls with ivy overgrown, the fondest memory recalls that we have ever known. Old Pennsylvania, dear Pennsylvania, will e'er be true to red and blue of Pennsylvania. Red and blue of men of Pennsylvania, let your voices ring. Men of Pennsylvania, open up your hearts and sing a song of Pennsylvania. Cheer the red and blue. Men of Pennsylvania, fight, fight, fight for Pennsylvania. Hang Jeff Davis on a sour apple tree. Down went McGinty to the bottom of the sea. She's my Annie, and I'm her Joe. Oh, listen to my tale of whoa! Any ice today, lady? No. Giddy up! Pennsylvania. 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 Oh, Pennsylvania. Fight on, Pennsylvania. Put the ball across the line. Fight, you Pennsylvanians. There it goes across this time. Red and blue, we're with you, and we're cheering for your men. So it's fight, 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 Pennsylvania. Fight on, fight on, fight on, Pennsylvania. Fight for Penn, fight! unto light and truth. Thee, when death summons us, others shall praise. Hail, Pennsylvania, through endless days.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 82nd Alumni Award of Merit Gala. I'm Julie Barron-Platt, class of 1979 and president of Penn Alumni, and I'm thrilled to welcome you here for this wonderful evening. We are here to honor some of Penn's most dedicated alumni. The people we applaud tonight come from all over the map, from all different disciplines, and from across generations. But their devotion to Penn unites them. Their efforts to make our great university an even better version of itself for today and for the future is the core of their volunteer leadership. We're here to thank them for all that they do for Penn and, of course, to celebrate with them. And homecoming weekend is a great time to celebrate. I hope your weekend is full of red and blue pride and plenty of fun at festivities on College Green, in the cheering section of Franklin Field, and wherever your weekend takes you on campus. In keeping with our now perennial homecoming weekend theme, I hope your homecoming also includes some art and culture. Tomorrow morning, there's Hollywood, History, Industry, and Art with Peter DeCherney, which takes us behind the scenes of our alumni-exclusive online course. Later on, there's the Blutt Band Slam, our 5th annual Battle of the Bands. Then there's dinner and a movie at the Arch, or the Liz Weiss concert here at Annenberg, among your options for tomorrow evening. There are lectures, performances, an architectural tour, a gallery hop, you name it. It's a terrific sampling of arts and culture. In the spirit of this spectacular weekend, I'm delighted to be with all of you and so happy to introduce Penn's prized leader. Please join me in welcoming President Amy Gutman.
Thank you so much, Julie. Julie is a model Penn leader and an absolutely wonderful trustee. Speaking of coming from far and wide, she crosses the country seemingly just effortlessly to do everything for Penn alumni. So please join me in thanking Julie Platt for everything she does. A special shout out that Julie and Mark Platt have enabled us to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Platt Student Performing Arts House. And I know that Julie and Mark will be attending an open house celebration there, so I hope everyone frequents the Platt Performing Arts House. It's really just fabulous. So, to all of you, happy homecoming weekend, and welcome to the Zellerbach Theater, where I have to tell you, you may not know this, during the Democratic National Convention, Penn hosted, very appropriately, right here in the Zellerbach Theater, Comedy Central's The Daily Show for 4 nights. The show's host, Trevor Noah, heaped some comedy on politics, as usual. It's been a really good season for comedy on politics. And one night, I joined a Penn student audience to watch a taping here, and Trevor opened by celebrating an historic first, the very first time we've had a woman nominee for President of the United States. And he went on to say that firsts are always exciting. Remember, he's a comedian. First day of school, first comment on Instagram, the first time you, and well, I don't have the comedic license he had to complete that sentence, but it was, the students loved it, absolutely loved it, so did I. If you can't laugh, you'll cry, and it's better to laugh. What he didn't say, but I felt like shouting out, was we are the nation's first university, and we know an exciting thing or two about firsts. After all, we are the university, and I know this for a fact, that have the best alumni, bar none, right? And I have to go on to say that you can trust my facts because I am entirely without bias in this particular thing. So tonight, we spotlight an extraordinary group of alumni for their talent, for their dedication, and for their great passion for Penn. And I'd like just to say a very few words about each of our honorees. Our first awardee is a serial entrepreneur who has played a major role in promoting Penn Pride in his home state of Colorado, making important connections for current students, for young alumni, and for our great Penn Athletics program. Congratulations to a true Penn partner, Alan Levin. Can we give it? Good, I like the Penn spirit. Our next alumnus serves as an overseer at the law school and an emeritus member of our Board of Trustees. The Levy Scholars Program at Penn Law that bears his name is a multidisciplinary program that has transformed legal education at Penn and served as a model for law schools nationwide. A strategist, a mentor, his big picture perspective has moved our university in great new directions. He is our esteemed Paul Levy. Our third honoree has provided real estate expertise that has contributed to some of our greatest buildings and spaces on campus. I commented earlier today on a celebration of an opening that virtually all of my real estate knowledge comes from him. And I know a thing or two now about real estate. He was an early proponent of interdisciplinary education and research on innovation, leading to the William and Phyllis Mack Institute for Innovation Management. Former vice chair of our board and now emeritus member of Penn's Board of Trustees and chair of the Wharton Executive Board, Bill Mack, you are a pillar of our Penn community. Woo. Our next honoree played a key role in bringing the remarkable visual history archive of the USC Shoah Foundation to Penn, providing access to the film testimonies of 52,000 survivors and other witnesses of the Holocaust in 32 languages and from 56 countries. She has also served as an absolutely tireless and inspiring leader for the Trustees Council of Penn Women. Go TCPW. Thank you. Thank you for your terrific service, Jane Davis Pearlstein. The fifth awardee has lived all over the world, including Cairo, New York, Bermuda, and London. Her global reach and her international perspective have helped bring the world to Penn and Penn to the world, now one of our highest university priorities. She has hosted international events, established scholarships, and served as an integral member of Penn Admissions Volunteer Corps. Cheers and thanks to you, Penn trustee Nanu Zan. We also honor the winner of this year's Creative Spirit Award, the writer, director, producer of more than 70 films, TV shows, and theater productions. He is a creative Hollywood powerhouse, an inspiring mentor to many students, and a cherished resource on our campus. John Avnet is an amazing Penn star. Cheers to John. We also recognize an alumna whose energetic efforts assure us that Penn's future is in the very best hands. Young Alumni Award winner Lauren Hedvet. Lauren, thank you for gracing us. We celebrate the great classes of 1966. Let's hear it. Little competition here in 1986. You have made signature contributions to our university, and we thank the wonderful Penn Club of Washington, D.C. for modeling how to keep alumni really close to the university. So I thank you for everything you do for Penn. Congratulations to our 2016 Alumni Award of Merit winners. Go Penn, go Quakers, and go greatest alumni in the world. Let's give it up. Now, please join me in welcoming a person who is a leader among Penn leaders, Penn Law alumnus and chair of our Board of Trustees, great friend, great Penn booster, David Cohen.
So you never love being introduced anyway because you have to listen to something about yourself, but I have to say, being introduced after hearing about the accomplishments of all of these award winners and honorees tonight is a truly humbling experience. It's a pleasure for me to be on this stage in front of all of you and to be able to help recognize all that you have done for our great university. So thank you very much. Amy, thank you for the introduction. Never easy to follow you either. For those of you who know, I normally get to introduce Amy. This is the one event every year where I have to follow her, and it's not easy. It's always better for me to introduce her. And I also want to join with Amy in thanking Julie Platt for everything that she does. What an incredible president of Penn Alumni she has been, and so I joke with her every year, this is like her wedding. So it's great to be here, Julie. Thank you for all the work that you've done. Each of the honorees you're going to meet tonight is an integral member of the Penn community. They're active, they're engaged, they lead. If there's one X factor that I could identify that they all share, it's their ability to nurture connections among fellow alumni and to connect or reconnect alumni with Penn. These individuals generously offer their time and considerable talents to inspire and extend the Penn Alumni Network. And as you all know well, it's the dedication and strength of our incredible alumni community that drives our great university forward. So it's a great privilege for me to be here because I get to represent all of our trustees. This is always a special event for me because this was the first event that I attended as chair of the trustees of the University of Pennsylvania 7 years ago. And so on behalf of all of my fellow trustees, I want to thank these meritorious alumni for their service and dedication. I want to thank all of you for coming to help us to recognize them. I am continually inspired by Penn, and I am so proud to be here to recognize these incredible community builders who help us to maintain this incredible momentum. And so with that, I will turn the program back to our wedding planner, Julie Platt.
Thank you, David, and thank you, Amy. And now the great moment has arrived, the presentation of the Alumni Awards of Merit for 2016. To present the Class Awards of Merit for 2016, I'd like to present the newly elected president of the Alumni Class Leadership Council, who is also the executive vice president and reunion chair of the Class of 75, vice president of the Sphinx Senior Society Board of Governors, and a director of the Penn Glee Club Graduate Club. Ladies and gentlemen, Greg Suss.
Thank you, Julie. President Gutman, Chairman Cohen, honorees, and fellow Quakers. On behalf of the Alumni Class Leadership Council, I am pleased to present this year's Class Awards for 5-year ongoing achievement, employing innovative best practices and broad-based engagement. And the Class Award of Merit for 2016 goes to the Class of 1986. And I'd like to ask David Blatt, co-president of the Class of 86, to join me at the podium. The term crowdsourcing may not have been coined until decades after you graduated, but the Class of 1986 has always known that getting lots of people excited and meaningfully engaged is a strategy for success. Thanks to a large and dedicated team of volunteers who work tirelessly to encourage classmates to come back and give back, your 30th reunion was a masterpiece. I was standing in the University Museum courtyard in the middle of all of these Class of 86 revelers last May, and I asked David, so how did you do it? And he looked at me slyly and he said, we were relentless. It's no wonder that Class of 86 co-presidents David Blatt and Sue Wishnow have become affectionately known as the Juan and Eva Perón of class leadership. And through their battle cry of "Don't cry for me, Pennsylvania," they rallied their class and executed an outstanding 30th reunion on all fronts. Effective communication and outreach were the key to your success. Your 30th reunion brand developed an identity that was distinct and memorable, with the tagline, "Time for another hurrah." Traditional vehicles like monthly e-newsletters helped build awareness and interest in your reunion, while your ubiquitous hashtag, PennBackThursday, on social media linked viewers to pages from your freshman Facebook, by the way, which was an actual book in 1982. A formal outreach program using one-to-one communication. Remember those days when you had an actual conversation to persuade somebody to do something? With your classmates' interests and activities as the hook resulted in record-breaking attendance for a 30th reunion of 421 alumni. Leveraging, yes, it's good. Leveraging your power of 30, you set an ambitious goal of raising $30 million. Impossible, thought many. Well, you blew right past it, raising more than $33 million in university-wide giving, the biggest total ever achieved by a 30th reunion class. Breaking records is nothing new for the Class of 1986. You did it at your 25th reunion and again just 5 years later. I could go on and on and on, but then we'd be here till next Tu B'Shvat. So, in recognition of your enduring dedication to your alma mater, savvy strategy, and great success on both engagement and fundraising fronts, we are pleased to present the Class of 1986 for the second time with the Class Award of Merit.
Thank you, Greg. I don't know how to follow that, but I'm on the clock, so the 2-minute drill is going to start right now. I speak for the entire class of 1986 when we say that we are extremely honored to receive this prestigious award tonight. Penn was, is, and will always continue to be a very special place for me, the home of numerous memories, experiences, and friendships centered on this fabulous institution. We are very proud to be able to give back to Penn, and leading the Class of 86 is a pretty easy job for us because this place, and especially this class, is fantastic. Hope Tates, George Graffey, Steve Wallach, Jen Kravitz, and Sue Wishnow are really the ones who are deserving of the credit, but I get to take home the award, so it works out better. Penn has been the single most meaningful event in my life. I remember coming to alumni weekends with my mom and dad in the 60s and 70s, and I've been coming ever since. My adult life has been intertwined around Penn. My job, family, friends, all revolve around Penn events, gatherings, and celebrations. So I really thank you, Penn. But I would like to take this last 30 seconds and thank the one person who was directly responsible for this. How to be a good son, brother, uncle, father, partner, and most importantly, an upstanding, devoted, dependable person and friend to everyone I know. Listen, look him in the eye, and think before you speak are only a few of the life lessons I try to pass on to my son. So, I hope it's of no surprise to him who this person is. He happens to be in this audience tonight. He is also the president of his class of 1950. He is Penn perfect. He is a Penn parent, obviously, a Penn grandparent, and he's my dad, Larry Blatt. So thank you, Dad, out there. Thank you.
Thank you, David. The 2016 David N. Tarr Communication Award for Outstanding and Innovative Class Communications goes to the class of 1966. I invite to the podium members of the reunion committee of the class of 66 and fellow alums of the Sphinx Senior Society, Class Communication Chair Steve Klitzman and reunion yearbook editor Lance Laver. To set the tone for your 50th reunion, your class appropriated a famous song penned by fellow alum and member of the class of 1941, Bobby Troop. With only a few tweaks, Get Your Kicks on Route 66 became Get Your Kicks at Penn 66. I couldn't get that song out of my head for a month. You successfully carried this theme, look, and song throughout all your reunion communications, including traditional mail, emails, and website and Facebook, on hats, t-shirts. It was everywhere. One of your most famous classmates, actor John Doman of Gotham and formerly of The Wire, narrated a distinctive reunion email invitation with your song in the background. Yet another triumph was your 50th reunion yearbook, which garnered rave reviews. Your ambitious publication featured then and now all this content connected classmates to Penn and to each other, such as stories about Penn today and updates from 370 classmates, more than any other previous 50th reunion yearbook. Special shout out to AR director Elizabeth Willis, dubbed St. Elizabeth, an honorary member of the class of 66, who along with Hoops Wampler, Elise Betts, Kelly O'Connor, Ken Blum, Emily Horner, Terry Welsh, and John Ney, worked endless hours side by side with these guys, hour after hour, with graciousness, tenacity, and a great deal of medication. Your reunion communications were much more than kicks, however. You consistently and effectively made the case for one of your classes and the university's top fundraising priorities, endowed scholarships. In your emails and yearbook, you shared moving stories of recipients and the class of 1966 endowed scholarship, established at your 30th reunion and added to at each successive reunion. Best of all, your clever communications yielded impressive results. 328 of your classmates returned to campus for Alumni Weekend, and a total of 330 participated in your 50th reunion gift, which included gifts to the class of 1966 scholarship, individual scholarships, financial aid, student life, and other university priorities. Together, your classmates gave more than $5 million across the university. As my grandmother would say, that's a lot of nachas. In recognition of your success in using memorable, coordinated, and ubiquitous communications, we are delighted to present the David N. Tarr Award for Excellence in Class Communications to the class of 1966.
On behalf of the Penn 50th Reunion Class of 1966, thanks very much for this award. Lance Laver and I, in accepting this award, are very pleased and proud to represent our class as well as our 8-member 50th Reunion Committee. The writer Robert Copeland once observed that, quote, "To get something done, a committee should consist of no more than 3 people, 2 of whom are always absent." Well, our 8-member committee certainly proved the exception to Copeland's observation. With input from our long-serving and outstanding class of 1966 officers, Howard Coonley and Steve Roth, and excellent support from Hoops Wampler, Elizabeth Willis, Emily Horner, and many others in alumni relations, the 8 members of our committee each contributed significantly to our 50th reunion communications. They included Jim Vagnoni, our class of 66 Facebook editor, Lou Marks and Bruce Hoffman, yearbook co-editors with Lance and me, Helen Hollander-Lepkowski, who compiled a wonderful 7-page history of women at Penn, and organized with classmate Phyllis Fisher our first class of 1966 women's reunion breakfast, attended by over 50 classmates. And finally, Terrence Finn and Bob Rottenberg, who also contributed to our great yearbook.
As Greg mentioned, many others also contributed substantially to the success of our 50th reunion communications this year with our catchy rallying theme, email blasts to classmates, continual updates to the class website, and of course the yearbook, a 276-page volume entitled Class of 66, University of Pennsylvania 50th Reunion Yearbook, Then and Now. The yearbook includes more than a dozen features. At the heart of it are a record number of 368 classmate bio profiles covering over 170 pages. To encourage reunion attendance, for the first time, Alumni Relations mailed out our reunion yearbook prior to our gathering, free to all classmates who provided a bio profile. The advanced publication of the bios encouraged over 200 of our classmates and over 125 of their spouses, partners, and family members to attend the reunion from all over the United States as well as Europe and the Philippines. We later emailed a digital copy of the yearbook to all of our over 1,200 classmates.
We ended the yearbook with 2 contrasting graduation pictures for the classes of 1966 and 1916. We paid tribute to the class of 1916 because it celebrated its 50th reunion in our graduation year of 1966 and would have celebrated its 100th reunion in our 50th reunion year. These 2 pictures well illustrate Penn's stellar traditions and continuity over the generations. We sincerely hope our class of 1966 50th reunion communications will inspire future Penn 50th and other reunion classes. We want them to experience successful reunions like ours, as well as merit the David Entire Award for Class Communications. Thank you.
To present the Alumni Club Award of Merit, here is Nicole Otto Smith, class of 2005 and current chair of the Regional Club's Advisory Board, and a 2014 recipient of the Young Alumni Award.
Thank you, Julie. The 2016 Alumni Club Award of Merit goes to the Penn Alumni Club of Washington, D.C. Will the co-president, Adam Levinson, please come to the podium? It was a banner year for the Penn Club of D.C. Your signature event, the annual Spring Fling Boat Cruise, sold out 2 weeks before it was due to set sail on the Potomac. Shortly thereafter, when you offered your members a sneak peek at the National Museum of African American History months before its scheduled opening, the tickets were snapped up in less than 30 minutes. And those are just 2 examples of the over 40 gatherings you held for area alumni. All told, you attracted over 1,000 attendees with a mix of events that seemed to have something for everyone. There were receptions featuring key DC political figures, a visit to the Virginia Gold Cup equestrian races, and a discussion called Books and a Ball Game that combined an appearance by an author of a baseball-themed book with attendance at a Washington Nationals game. But these events were more than entertainment. They were a key part of a strategy to elevate your club to a new level. And determining that events would be key to your club's renaissance, you planned them months in advance to ensure each ran smoothly. You reached out in all directions, collaborating with Penn affinity groups, including Penn Gala, which represents lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender alumni, and the Black Alumni Society, and inviting other Ivy League alumni to join in at the fun at your club's popular happy hours. You promoted your club as never before, through a bright and beautiful revamped website, a weekly newsletter, a Facebook group page, and through Twitter. You also use lower tech, yet equally inspired ways to fire up red and blue enthusiasm, including snappy Penn Club of DC business cards that you distributed at alumni gatherings as cheery reminders to keep in touch with the club and with Penn. In recognition of the ingenuity, organizational skills, and inspiration you have brought to the Penn alumni community in our nation's capital, it is a pleasure to present the Penn Alumni Club of Washington, D.C. with the Alumni Club Award of Merit for 2016. Congratulations.
Thank you, Nicole. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here tonight and to accept this award on behalf of the club. Let me start off by thanking Penn Alumni and the Regional Club's Advisory Board for their support and guidance over the past year. Our club has come a long way, and to accept this award is almost surreal. When people ask me about the best part of my time at Penn, my answer often surprises them. It's not the econ scream, heyday, nor is it cheering on the Quakers at the Palestra. The best part of my Penn experience is, and has always been, the people I have met and the relationships that we have built together. With the Penn Club of DC, much of our club's success stems from the connections that we have cultivated. Our success is the result of the relationships we've built with Penn-affiliated groups like the Black Alumni Society, Penn Gala, the Wharton Public Policy Initiative, PJAN, and YPenn. It's because of the relationships we built with community service organizations like Martha's House that we have expanded the Penn Club from not only a social organization, but to one that's already also impacting society. It's the relationships we've built with other board members who have given their nights and weekends to make our events matter. And most importantly, it's the relationships we've built with every single Quaker that attends our events who inspire us to be creative and inclusive. We would like to recognize the following people that we have worked with closely over the past year. In alumni relations, Laura Foltman, Tara Davies, Marvin Rocha, Nicole Spanovich, and Elise Betts. And of course, our incredible board, Rebecca Aberg, co-president, who unfortunately cannot be here tonight, Elizabeth Grant, vice president, Lacey Rapini, PR chair, Diana Van Dyke, events chair, Talia Warburg, community service, Katie Gansler, webmaster, Ted Katsubis, YPenn rep who's here, and Annika Kumar, who's a board member who is also here tonight. And lastly, for my parents for coming to cheer me on tonight. Thank you again for this incredible honor.
And now the presentation of the Creative Spirit Award, which began when arts and culture programming was added to Homecoming Weekend in 2009. The award recognizes a member of the Penn community who has illustrated a lifelong commitment to the arts through outstanding personal achievement and/or philanthropic support. I'd like to invite John Avnet and Dean Steve Fluardi to the podium for the presentation of this year's award.
What a pleasure it is to be here this evening to pay tribute to John Avnet, winner of Penn's 2016 Creative Spirit Award, and to see him here wearing a tuxedo. I've never seen John in anything but jeans and a baseball cap, and clearly he kept the cap. John's creative journey began when he was a fellow in the American Film Institute, working on his thesis film, Confusion's Corner, which featured the then unknown Richard Gere. You gave him quite a start. Since then, John has directed, written, and produced nearly 70 motion pictures, television movies, and Broadway plays. His work has won or been nominated for numerous Oscars, Emmys, Tonys, Golden Globes, the Peabody, as well as the Directors Guild of America and the Writers Guild of American Awards. He received the AFI's Franklin J. Schaffner Alumni Medal, which celebrates extraordinary creative talents and artistic achievements. These accolades and awards attest to John's unique ability to move us through his craft with both passion and emotion. He held us mesmerized with his TV film, The Burning Bed, which brought the brutal reality of domestic violence out of the shadows and into our living rooms. He touched our hearts with the movie Fried Green Tomatoes, a film about enduring friendship, loyalty, and grit. And although few of us might admit it, John had us dancing in our boxers and Ray-Bans. I feel fortunate that John has brought his passion and creativity to his role as Penn Arts and Sciences overseer, and our community of aspiring writers and directors has been enriched by his involvement in Kelly Writers House. John, as it says in your citation, to borrow a line from poet Emily Dickinson, you dwell in possibility and prove that pursuing one's creative vision is well worth the inherent risks. For serving as an excellent role model and mentor, and for your unwavering support of Penn and the bright promise of our students, it is our privilege to present to you the Creative Spirit Award of 2016.
Thank you, Steve. My first night on the Penn campus in 1997, I was walking from a mixer to the quad wearing sandals, sporting a very straggly beard, with an attractive young woman on my arm, and two guys behind me called me a blank, blank hippie. I turned and said, "Are you addressing me?" One of them threw a punch. A fight ensued. I acquitted myself as well as I could, but something you don't learn in college is how you end a fight. Do you just say uncle on a street fight? I don't think so. And I think actually it may even have ramifications on a global scale. Ending isn't as easy as starting. After the fight, I went to my dorm. My mother had purchased a wonderful present, a wastebasket with Ivy League flags on it. I threw up the vanilla milkshake I had imbibed into a basket and tossed it out the window of 308 Warwick. My college education began that night. It was a tough time. It was the age of Martin Luther King, who I had the good fortune to share a cab ride after he gave one of his first anti-war speeches, and Bobby Kennedy. Both were assassinated. It was a difficult time to be ebullient. Sound familiar? But pessimism in an adolescent male is as underdeveloped as many other traits, at least in my case. A red-haired teaching assistant named Torgerson in the English department read a poem that I had written, and he said it showed glimpses of talent. I think he was being kind. He said I shouldn't waste my time being a Jones Beach lifeguard, that I should look to something more creative. And it's kind of the essence of what we do, that a compliment at the right time can turn a kind of a wayward soul on a path that leads to such a productive and positive direction. I think that's what we want to do here, isn't it? And whatever this talent I had, which was hard to see at the time when I was signing up students for the War Resisters League, leading SDS rallies, and even suggesting that we napalm a dog. This was back then. We never intended on doing this, but we did get national coverage. My career came out of this sort of cauldron of uncertainty. I think it's very relevant to the time we live in now. And Steve mentioned the burning bed. It was a very exhilarating experience to try and do something that could, through film, create a law, the battered woman syndrome, for which many women have had the good fortune to take advantage of. It's not always available to you in this world, and I always feel like I'm sort of a fortunate person because somehow I get to do this. Fried Green Tomatoes was a different kind of thing. It was a film about female friendship. These were difficult films to get made. No one cares about it. They just care, as they should, about what it is and whether it moves them, entertains them, or whatever. And occasionally, when Kathy Bates crashes the car of those young flippant girls who said they're younger and faster, and she says, "I'm older and I have more insurance," you get a laugh or two. So There's another film that I did that I thought might be worth mentioning because I had the opportunity to do a film about the Warsaw Ghetto and the uprising there. And that film was so unique because it gave me a chance to weigh in on something that I think our world had gotten wrong. I don't think the Jews went like sheep to the gas chambers. I think they resisted in every way they could, and underfed, imprisoned a group of people with no arms, no nothing. And living an extra day, keeping your child alive, having a service, that's resistance. And I think Hannah Arendt and a few other people got it wrong. And that's, by the way, how I met Professor Philrice in the Kelly Writers' House and developed a friendship that has lasted to this day. And along the way, these opportunities come, and I think some of it is because of a little bit of the spirit of Penn, which in some ways we often talk about doing more with less. And my version of that is there are no excuses. And if you want to do it, do it. I won't go way past my time limit because Jean Marie will kill me. But I want to just say one other thing, because when I met Professor Philrice, and I've spent a lot of time in the Kelly Writers' House, and I think any of you who give to this college, to this university, know that the giving is the gift. That you get much more than you ever could possibly give to anybody. And this is certainly true of the Writers' House and what Al has done there. And he introduced me, ironically, to a Emily Dickinson poem, best known for "But Let a Splinter Swerve." And it describes the power of an original idea and the debris field that it can leave behind by having an original thought. And today, that poem is featured in my next movie, entitled The Three Christs, which explores, this is a true story, of a psychological study done in 1959 when 3 paranoid schizophrenics who each believed they were Jesus Christ were put in a room together to challenge their delusions. What happens is the story of the film. Richard Gere, who was in my first movie, stars along with some other great actors in it. This is a book I first read in Professor Gleitman's psychology class in 1968. So, to say I'm grateful to be up here tonight would make me guilty of gross understatement. I am both unworthy and proud, and I tip my hat to all of you, to everybody. Thank you.
Before continuing the presentation of the 82nd Alumni Awards of Merit, I would like everyone in the audience who has been given an Alumni Award of Merit or Young Alumni Award in the past to please stand up so that we can join in a round of applause for Penn's leading volunteers. Each year, Penn Alumni solicits nominations for the Alumni Award of Merit and the Young Alumni Award through a formal request that appears in the Pennsylvania Gazette and in the electronic newsletter, The Red and Blue Online. I am proud to serve on the Penn Alumni Awards and Resolutions Committee, which chooses from among many impressive candidates to select those who deserve recognition in perpetuity for extraordinary and long-standing service to Penn. The committee also selects the Student Awards of Merit, which are presented in May on Ivy Day. And we have some past winners in attendance, as well as some Senior Honor Awards winners with us this evening. Congratulations to all of our 2016 honorees, and thank you for your exceptional efforts on behalf of the university. We are proud to present each of you with a citation and an honorary rosette to be worn proudly, having been inducted into this prestigious group of Penn alumni. Now for the presentation of the Young Alumni Award for 2016, will Brett Weinheimer and Lauren Hedvat please come to the podium.
I have come to know Lauren well during her almost 10 years of service on Penn's Alumni Class Leadership Council. Her range and breadth of involvement at the University of Pennsylvania is astonishing. It would take the entirety of my allotted time just to cover via bullet points her leadership, participation in events, and philanthropy at our university. Lauren's involvement as a volunteer started even before she left campus. Her contributions to the university as an undergrad led her to being named the recipient of the 2005 Penn Alumni Student Award of Merit. Lauren has earned 3 Penn degrees and has never stopped achieving. She has served as an alumni interviewer, reunion co-chair, gift committee member, Engaging Minds member, and on the executive committee of the Alumni Class Leadership Council, just to name a few. She currently serves as the vice president of her class, and she's been a generous scholarship donor to the university. It's important to recognize that Lauren is a standout in the Hedvat family, where sibling rivalry seems to manifest itself in who can do more, lead more, and give more at Penn. Lauren is the embodiment of living the Penn Compact, all while nurturing her career in banking at some of the top firms in New York. She makes time for service and ensures that if she takes something on, she can give her all. She does this time and time again. I can assure you that Lauren's is the kind of nomination for which the Awards and Resolutions Committee searches each year as we excitedly tear into our application packages. Her service and dedication to Penn has never wavered. Over time, she has evolved her leadership into ever more significant roles. And let's remember, all of this has been accomplished in just her first 10 years as a Penn alumna. She has set an example in the Penn alumni community. Lauren, you are remarkably engaged and generous alumna who has already done so much for our Penn family. After witnessing all you have accomplished to date, everyone in this room, as well as your friends and family who couldn't be here tonight, can't wait to see what comes next. We cherish the opportunity to celebrate with you on this remarkable occasion. It is with great respect and gratitude for your loyalty and leadership that we honor you with the 2016 Young Alumni Award. Congratulations.
Thank you, Brett. Congratulations to all the recipients being honored tonight. I'm truly humbled to share the stage with such esteemed members of the Penn community. I want to first thank the entire awards committee and the university for giving me this special honor. Throughout my career at Penn and beyond, I have proudly called Penn my home away from home. My path to Penn began, as my sister Shannon has consistently noted, like every magical fairy tale in a high school parking lot. It was at the end of my junior year at a college fair where I met Sarah Harberson, who was the warmest and most exuberant admissions officer there. She piqued my curiosity in wanting to learn more about Penn. It had an engineering program, a campus within a city, a diverse student population, and close proximity to home, every Jewish mother's dream. When I applied to Penn, I recall expressing that I was awestruck and instantly energized by the campus, as I felt like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, embarking on a journey through Locust Walk, what would become my yellow, or rather, red brick road. Like Dorothy, I believed there would be no place like home, especially after being raised in a Persian home filled with unconditional love, support, and care, and a strong emphasis on education, culture, and community involvement. I soon came to realize, however, that Penn would also be my home as I continued to grow. I've always sought to embrace one of my favorite quotes: "The secret of life is to discover wings, and the meaning of life is to use them." Since I started, Penn has provided me the wind to propel my wings. As a student and alumna, I have found not one, but many families. I was able to share my love for Penn with prospective students by volunteering through Kite and Key. As I also worked with Sarah and Doris Cochran-Fikes in the admissions office, I became a part of the Penn Alumni interview program, where I witnessed and was inspired by countless dedicated alumni volunteers who had a passion for sharing their love for Penn. Similarly, the Penn Club of Metro New Jersey welcomed my entire family to the Penn community, and I'm so grateful that so many of them are here this evening. Each activity, class, or place on campus had its own character and contributed to my growth as an individual during my years on campus. I'm so grateful that this trend has translated into my role and engagement as an alumna. My bond with Penn continues to fortify as I meet more inspirational members of the Penn family through my involvement with ACLC, my class reunion committee, the Engineering Alumni Society, and through local activities in the New York area. Thank you to the fellow alumni volunteers who have been role models in their dedication and time and enriched my experience as an alumna. My dedication and passion for Penn were undoubtedly driven by the unbelievable legacy of education and community involvement my family has established. For as long as I can remember, my grandparents and parents have served as true role models of the Winston Churchill quote, "We make a living by what we get, we make a life by what we give." They have instilled the value of giving back and being philanthropic in my sister Shannon, my brother Brandon, and me. Grandma, Mom, and Papa, thank you for being incredible role models and for your unconditional love and support as I have learned to use my wings and to continue to discover my meaning of life. Thank you for always providing me with the best opportunities to better myself in education and everything I undertake. Shannon and Brandon, thank you for being my partners in crime, my best friends, my advisors, and my fellow Penn cheerleaders. Thank you to all of my family and friends who have traveled near and far to celebrate this honor with me. I am grateful to call all of you my family. I am still deeply humbled and somewhat speechless, well, not by the time, I'm sure Trina will be upset with me, from this unbelievable recognition. Thank you, Penn, for honoring me with this award and for providing me with a lifetime of learning and family.
And now the Alumni Award of Merit recipients for 2016. First, Alan Levin and Judy Berkowitz, please come to the podium.
Alan, you are the heart and soul of Penn in Colorado. In fact, you have served in every leadership capacity available to a volunteer. You have interviewed hundreds of applicants and actively recruited many students to the university's intercollegiate athletic program. You loved your own athletic career at Penn, where you were a star on the Penn swimming team. And you wanted to encourage young student athletes to come to Penn. So you brought our coaches to Colorado to introduce them to your local athletes. You even sponsored a basketball game between the Quakers and the University of Colorado. Who won?
It wasn't the Quakers.
No. But it sounds like it was a lot of fun. And we know that everything that Alan has done in Penn events has been fun. And Alan, you are also the heart and soul of the class of 1964. Your class realized that your sense of humor would make heyday special, and in 1964 gave you the honor of writing the class prophecy. 50 years later, your class, my class, again chose you to lead them, this time as co-chair of our reunion. Our attendance soared because you have kept in touch with so many classmates, and no one could say no to you. And if they did, you would just keep calling them until they finally gave in. You moderated our featured panel on the very serious topic of how Penn had prepared us for the future and prodded us to assess and appreciate our time at the university. And whenever appropriate, your humor helped to lighten and enlighten our discussions. Now as before, your wit and dedication to Penn is clear and present and very valued. Since you couldn't always be on campus, you brought Penn professors, mask and wig, and other cultural and academic programs out west. Once you invited the Penn Singers Light Opera Company, and when a snowstorm stranded them in London, you just invited them all to your house. It's hard to believe you had time to do other things, but in fact, you are also a serial entrepreneur, as you heard our president say, and you have launched several very successful businesses. And now are president of a fine arts industries, a provider of framed art to mass merchandisers. You've been a popular speaker at Wharton conferences on entrepreneurship, where you have shared the secret of all of your success. You went to Wharton. In gratitude for all you have done on behalf of the university, for welcoming Quaker teams and cultural groups to Colorado, and for your unwavering entrepreneurial enthusiasm for all things Penn, we are delighted to award you the Alumni Award of Merit for 2016.
Thank you, Judy. Judy, thank you for the lovely words. And by the way, you look marvelous.
Thank you, God.
It's always a thrill to be back at my alma mater, the Red and Blue. And by the way, I'm being timed up here, and I haven't been timed since I swam in a swimming meet 52 years ago, but history does repeat itself. I want to thank the Penn people who made this wonderful honor possible, my family, friends, and classmates for being here on this great evening, especially Anna, my trophy wife of 49 years. At 74, it's always nice to be remembered. Now a little history. It's in academic school, we've got to have a little history. It's 1961. The complete cost of a Penn education for the entire year was about $3,800. You heard me, $3,800. Smoking was allowed in the classrooms, and co-eds couldn't wear pants to class. The university beauty contest, and this was a big, big deal, the winner received the title of Miss Campus Chest. That's her title. That's her title. I'm not making this up. This has been fact-checked by CNN. Campus Chest was a university charity that sponsored the event. In fact, Sandy Lotz Fisher from my class of 64 is here, and check her out. She was Miss Campus Chest. Don't you wonder how that would go over today? Only males lived in the quad, where we had maids called P-ladies who cleaned our rooms and made our beds twice a week. No drugs around. Pinball machines were the male addiction on campus. Co-eds couldn't have phones in their rooms. Men could. Men were not allowed above the ground floor of the girls' dorms, yet they could have girls in their rooms till 9 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays. From the student handbook, and I quote, "Men can entertain women till 9 o'clock. What I used to do, I used to entertain. I used to do a medley of Elvis songs till I woke up one day and found out I couldn't get a second date, so I stopped doing that. In the 60s, co-eds in the College for Women were discouraged from majoring in math. In the 60s, women, as we all know, couldn't do calculus, but amazingly in the 70s, they could. They could do it. In 1993, I gave a business management seminar at the Wharton School. My terrific son, Brian, Wharton 94, was in the audience. His instructions to me were, whatever you do, Dad, don't embarrass me. Please don't tell any of your old Penn stories from the 60s. Nobody wants to hear them. No corny Penn jokes about Ben Franklin, and whatever you do, don't wear any of those strange-looking suits you have left over from the Nixon administration. Needless to say, I didn't follow his good advice, but yet somehow I was invited back. I guess they like me. So, my friends, in closing, who are we going to beat tomorrow? I don't want to hear Clinton, and I don't want to hear Trump. I want to hear Brown. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3. Let's beat Brown. Thank you very much.
I'd like to invite Paul Levy and Perry Golkin to please come to the podium.
It's my honor to introduce Paul Levy, my friend. I want to acknowledge Karen, his wife, who's here, his daughters, Charlotte and Rebecca, both of whom have Penn degrees, so we have a real Penn family. I could go on and on with the list of what Paul's done. He's a trustee, he was on the board of Penn Medicine, but I'd like to focus on his contributions to the law school. He was and remains an overseer since 1996, 20 years. And in that capacity, beginning with his role searching for a dean, that led to the appointment of Mike Fitz. And Penn Law has undergone a great transformation in these 20 years that Paul served. And Paul and Mike were a truly formidable 1-2 punch. But there is no question that no alumni has contributed more to Penn Law than Paul Levy. Now, his contributions are many. I'm not going to do the list, but what I'd really like to do is highlight the Levy Scholars Program. Through this program, Penn has recruited, to date, 147 of the best and brightest law students in the country. Over 100 of these scholars have graduated. They're now all over the place. I mean, there are Levys everywhere. They have clerked on every circuit court, one on the US Supreme Court. They're in all the major law firms. They teach at Harvard, Stanford, Chicago. They do pro bono, they're in the government. And when you think about the impact that one person has by creating a program like this, where the extension of that reach, but extending the Penn brand, the Penn Law brand, and really having a long-term impact, not only on our school, but quite frankly, in the legal community, it's really amazing what Paul has accomplished. I'd like to read the citation, at least the end of it, in his award. In your time at bat for Penn, you've knocked some amazing home runs out of the park. We can't cheer loudly enough for all you've done. With gratitude for your dedication, keen problem-solving abilities, big picture perspective, and impulse to action on behalf of Penn, we are pleased to bestow upon you the Alumni Award of Merit for 2016.
Thank you, thank you. Well, the job won't be done until we have a Penn Law President of the United States. So I hope all of our graduates get going with public service and high achievement. Thank you, Perry. I appreciate it very much. You're in step with the political season, lots of exaggeration, but I can live with it when you talk like that. It's great to be here. Also, I didn't realize how important this award was in the Penn community, frankly, until I saw that I was being honored along with Bill Mack, for whom I've had enormous admiration over the years. So congratulations, Bill, and to all my honorees, fellow honorees, thank you very much. I want to thank everybody involved. It's been an honor to devote my time and resources to our great school. And when I say that, I mean Penn Law as well as the university, because they really are an organic whole. The award is meaningful to me because we achieved for Penn Law what we set out to do nearly 20 years ago, which was to elevate Penn Law to the highest status in the American legal community by explaining and demonstrating the crucial role that law plays in the lives of everyone. We integrated learning. We did all that against all odds, and we did it as a team. We had a vision, and we brought it to life. Our daily efforts were driven by engaged and welcoming professionals and by deans of the school who truly welcomed the dialogue with our board. They listened and adjusted course based on feedback. As a group, our overseers are very special. Our communication, friendships, mutual respect, and admiration, as well as our shared sense of purpose, have been inspiring. This has seen us through every challenge and helped us overcome every hurdle, not the least of which was launching a significant capital campaign amid the gale force winds of the Great
Great Recession. All Penn schools can do this. My view is this: the future of Penn Law, indeed of all Penn, is the following. Aim high, never give in to mediocrity or to fads, don't take the easy way out, stay the course. So many other schools have lost their way, Penn has not. Onward and upward. Thank you very much.
Will Bill Mack and Dean Jeffrey Garrett please come to the podium?
I know enough real estate moguls to know this. They're infamous for having really sharp elbows. Not Bill Mack, or as his wife Phyllis, who's here tonight, and all of Bill's friends call him simply Billy. Whether it's on the tennis court or in the boardroom, talking politics or modern art, Billy's integrity, sincerity, humility, his humanity always shine through. In fact, I cleared it with Amy, Bill. I want to say you're a real mensch.
You even pronounced it correctly.
That's why Bill Mack is a natural leader on any occasion, in every group, and why he has so many genuine friends. He brings a broad smile and an inner warmth to everyone because that's how he greets and treats everyone he meets. What you've achieved as founder and chairman of the Mack Real Estate Group is legendary. But what you've given in time, in expertise, and yes, in incredibly generous philanthropy is at least as important and as impressive. Beyond Penn, you're the chair of the Guggenheim, you're the president of the Palm Beach Country Club, you're the vice chairman of Northwell Health. But what you do at Penn is just extraordinary. Former chair of the Board of Trustees, chairman of the Wharton Board of Overseers, unofficial title from Amy, real estate professor-in-chief to the president, and I have to say, to me, the most important unofficial title of all, role model, mentor, trusted advisor to the dean. Bill Mack, you've already received Wharton's highest honor, the Dean's Medal. You received the highest honor from the Wharton Club of New York, the Joseph Wharton Lifetime Achievement Award. So with my personal, heartfelt gratitude for your vision, your business acumen, your inestimable leadership at the Wharton School and the University of Pennsylvania, but above all for your friendship, it's my privilege, my honor, my pleasure to present to you Penn's highest honor, the Alumni Award of Merit for 2016.
Wow, I don't know what to say after that. But thank you, Jeff. You know, I only know Jeff a short time since he became dean of the Wharton School, but certainly he demonstrates and will go down over the years to be one of the great deans that we've had. So thank you for the great introduction. And congratulations to all of those who received awards this evening. I've been very fortunate that over the years I've been able to gain a real insider's perspective and watch the amazing growth of this great university. It has been a great privilege of mine to serve as an advisor to several presidents. The greatest one of all is the one we have today, Amy Gutman. And as well, a lot of great people, a lot of professionals, lot of friends, a lot of trustees, a lot of people that have worked tirelessly to make Penn what it is today over the years. I've had the pleasure and the privilege of being part of the great transformation of this campus at the university. And I've watched over the years as the campus has grown in real time, and it's been a great, great experience to be part of it and to watch it grow. Wharton has certainly given me a lot of tools to prepare me for what I was able to do over my lifetime so far, and I'm very, very grateful to it. You know, Penn is a family affair for us. It's something that over the last 35 years I've enjoyed doing, and I've enjoyed being part of. And as well, I was very fortunate to have both of my sons attend Penn, one attending Wharton and graduating in '89, the other one the college in '94. So while I'm greatly honored to receive this great honor tonight, I think that the honor really goes to everyone in the audience today, because all of you are part of Penn. All of you contribute to making this great university even greater. So I want to thank you all, and the award that I'm getting tonight, it really belongs to all of us. So thank you, and thank you all for being such a great part of Penn.
I now invite Jane Pearlstein and Susan Danilo to the podium.
Good evening. In the fall of 2000, my friend Judy Berkowitz, who is the architect and chair of the 125th anniversary of Women at Penn celebration, called to invite me to a meeting with Janie Davis Pearlstein. She was the consultant who had just signed on to help with the celebration. I remember Judy's excitement as she told me how smart, thoughtful, creative, and of course well-organized Janie was. And she also added that she was a fellow Penn alumna. A short while after my conversation with Judy, I met with Janie for the first time. Within minutes, I was completely on board with Judy's assessment and confident that our event the following year was in the best of hands. The 125th anniversary celebration, as many of you know, brought over 1,200 women back to Penn's campus for 2 days of first-rate celebrations, events, and programming. Judy's inspirational vision and Jane's signature style and detail perfecting standards were apparent from start to finish. Soon after the celebration, Janie was elected a member of the Trustees Council of Penn Women, and it was only a matter of time before she was asked to become reunion chair and president for the class of 1980. Under her watchful eye, Penn 80 was awarded a David M. Tyre Award for Class Communications, and you all know how important and what an honor that is. And so importantly, the reunion-based community service project that Janie organized on behalf of her class immediately became a model and has remained a model for other classes for more than a decade. I was overjoyed, as many of my fellow former TCPW chairs were, on her selection as the 11th chair of the Trustees Council of Penn Women in 2012. Janie was the perfect person to lead TCPW at that time and would be at any time. I love the pride that Janie takes in her family, her husband Ron, who she met during her student days at Penn, her son Alex, who's presently a law student at NYU, and her daughter Julie, an 08 graduate who's already an engaged and active alumna, and to Janie and Ron's delight, a new mother. I also so admire how Janie has melded her professional life at the Shoah Foundation with her volunteer activities and passion as an alumna for Penn. I also so admire Janie's commitment and tireless efforts to give back to our university. Janie came on a bus by herself from Scranton, Pennsylvania when she was still in high school to tour Penn's campus, and I know that she views her bus ticket from that day as her passport to the world. It's a true honor to present your 2016 Alumni Award of Merit. Janie, it could not be more well-deserved.
Thank you, Susan, for the beautiful introduction and for your friendship and for your years of mentoring. And also congratulations to the other honorees on your tremendous accomplishments. October 7th, 1964. Dear Mrs. Pearlstein, we at the University of Pennsylvania were sorry to learn of the death of your husband. You and he and all the family have been good friends of this university over the years. We share your loss. I hope you can extend our sympathy to your children, most of whom are alumni of Pennsylvania, and indeed to all the family. Very sincerely, Gaylord P. Harnwell, President. This letter, written to my husband Ron's grandmother, has been kept by our family for over 50 years. When Ron applied to Penn in 1975, and when our daughter Julie applied in 2003, it was included in their application packages. And now, as I humbly accept the Alumni Award of Merit, it is the centerpiece of my remarks, as it epitomizes the reason I have dedicated much of my volunteer life to Penn. Just think, a letter from the president of Penn to a widow upon the loss of her husband 10 years after her last child graduated. What a great example of the care this institution has for its alumni and the strength of the Penn family. Of course, I treasure the superb education that I, my husband, daughter, son-in-law, and many of our family members received, and appreciate that the value of our Penn degrees is increasing exponentially over time. But it is that connection I feel each and every time I meet a fellow Penn alum, the bond we share despite our age or background, that I cherish most and inspires me to give back. I can trace my alumni involvement to my mentor, Judy Berkowitz, who hired me as executive director of the 125 Years of Women at Penn celebration and rewarded me for my efforts with the best gift of all, a nomination to the Trustees Council of Penn Women. I am extremely proud to have led and remain active in this organization that has made a significant impact on Penn women for almost 30 years. I'm equally proud of my extraordinary class of 1980, the only class to continually perform community service between reunion celebrations. With the help of the Netter Center, we are changing the lives of nearby Sayre High School students by providing them with much-needed role models and exposing them to invaluable career opportunities. Thank you to my supportive friends and family, my fellow Penn volunteers, and the excellent Penn staff who make our jobs easy. And my wish for the future is that our new grandson, 6-week-old Henry Moses, will be fortunate enough to join the Penn family, class of 2038. Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, will Nanu Zan and Leslie Crewley please come to the podium?
I'm honored to tell all of you about Nanu Zan. I hope you have had a chance to read Nanu's citation, which allows me to go a bit light on her biography and a bit deeper reflecting on one of the more interesting women I know. To be honest, I must admit that I was not actually present for my favorite memory of Nanu. She once told me about a special childhood remembrance of Egypt, of Nanu and her father in his small plane flying just above the pyramids. What a wonderful sense that conjures. I see Nanu as a girl, eyes sparkling with curiosity, and I imagine that is where her deep passion for history, knowledge, adventure, and our beautiful world had its beginnings. That curiosity and sense of adventure led Nanu to Penn. This 5-decade relationship defines what we often seek for our own college-bound children, the mystical good fit. At Penn, Nanu thrived, establishing lifelong connections. I think of Nanu as the classical Penn student, passionate, intellectual, acutely observant, and always learning. I can attest to many challenging, wonderful conversations as Nanu generously shared her knowledge, as well as her love for good books and poetry, world travel, either for business or pleasure, and her beautiful gardens. Her enduring love for Penn led her, among many other commitments, to leadership as an alumni trustee and membership on the Penn Museum and the Huntsman Advisory Boards. A proud Penn parent of Adley College in Wharton, 08, Nanu has always taken an active interest in student success. She established scholarships for Wharton undergraduates in the Huntsman program and for college undergraduates enjoying studies in ancient Egypt and classical history. Ever the Penn ambassador, Nanu was an alumni interviewer in the UK for over a decade, helping applicants know whether Penn might be the perfect fit for them. Through her chairmanship of the UK interview committee, interview coverage rose to consistently above 90%, and Penn saw applications there triple. In recent years, Nanu has set her sights on great results for Bermuda as well. In short, no matter the locale, Nanu is the consummate university citizen. Nanu, it is with gratitude for sharing your winning combination of gracious dedication, generosity, and a wonderful global perspective that we are privileged to award you the Alumni Award of Merit for 2016.
These words are too kind, and I am absolutely humbled at them. It is such a joy to be here with our great leadership, our great alumni, our great Quakers and their families. It will be unforgettable, there is no doubt. It is also extremely humbling to be recognized for simply expressing one's devotion to a place that is as dearly loved as Penn. I mean, although my life has been rich with wonderful memories, most phases seem perhaps monochromatic, a single color and its variations. Only Penn and my undergrad years at Penn stood out as, across the decades, in brilliant multicolor. There were so many unprecedented experiences here. I was never woken up before to the sound of the balalaika, as I was each day under my window in the quad. Or attended a lecture with my best friend, who happens to be here with us from Austin, Texas, with her wonderful husband, who's also a Penn alumnus. I had never attended a lecture with a best friend, only to be handed at its end a treasured poem she had just written. I mean, how often do you have that? Likewise, never had so many members of any faculty opened so many vistas over the peaks of human thinking, and never had I cheered at so many live sporting events or sang so many school songs, even at my own children's schools combined. No one and nothing seems to have been forgotten. And so it was natural, when invited to an alumni event in London some 2 decades ago, to have leapt with relish into Penn's multicolored universe once again, starting with applicant interviews. Staying in touch with applicants from the 4 corners of our planet within the UK, and witnessing how Penn became the perfect destination for so many matriculants connected me once again with Penn's extraordinary reach. Further, I was fortunate to have returned on time for the finale of the magnificent Making History campaign and Time to Shine, which took Penn to just dizzy heights. It would be lovely to name and thank the friends I made among fellow alumni, Penn leadership, and our extraordinary teams in international admissions, alumni relations, Sweeten House, the Huntsman program, and others who have been both inspirational and tireless in their dedication. Once again, no one will be forgotten, and it is I who feels wholeheartedly grateful and thankful for this glowing and unforgettable moment.
And that brings us to the conclusion of the awards presentation. Thank you and congratulations to all of our honorees and to everyone for coming to this celebration. And now, as we welcome back the Penn Glee Club, I ask you to please rise and join me in singing The Red and the Blue, after which we will go to the Annenberg lobby for dinner, dessert, cocktails, and coffee.
Lift up your hearts and voices for the royal red and blue. Fair Harvard has her crimson, old Yale her colors too. But for dear Pennsylvania,